Whenever you log into social media, you can be guaranteed of one thing. You're going to read some truly bad takes. Now, a few months ago, I read one that basically sums up the mindset of the Hasbros.
I'm just gonna say it. Consequences be damned. Outside of nostalgia, vintage toys kinda suck. Our toys sucked in the 80s and early 90s. We just didn't know any better.
Obviously, I have to respond to this, and I will do so giving examples and explaining why vintage toys do not suck. And yes, I will be talking about socks. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Part of me wishes this tweet was done as parody, but the truth is, this is how modern collectors actually think. They honestly believe that the more smoke they blow up the ass of Hasbro, the more free toys they will get. This devotion to Hasbro has left them blind to the fact that not only do vintage toys not suck, in many cases they are far superior to the modern alternatives. But don't just take my word for it, here are some actual examples. I could actually end this video right now by simply stating, these just look amazing, but there's a lot more to it than that. Before we even get into the action features of these toys, we must first discuss the clothing. These days, it seems that when a new Black Series figure is announced as having a fabric cape, it's met with much applause and fanfare from the Hasbros. But back in my day, all figures were clothed in soft goods, which is far superior to what you're getting these days. In the case of the Lone Ranger from Gabriel, not only does he come with a gun belt, he also comes with a belt holding up his pants, and when combined with his neckerchief and threaded lace-up shirts, that's attention to detail that is sorely missing in modern toys. Not only does Palitoy's Action Man come fully dressed in soft goods, he's packed with play features that actually functioned as intended and made playing with them an absolute pleasure. The gripping hands meant that he could actually keep a strong grip on his accessories, which is something a lot of modern collectors complain about. His eagle eyes feature allowed you to pose him, giving the naysayers the stink eye. And in the case of the Talking Commander, he could utter a series of phrases without the need for batteries or a USB connection. But what really set Action Man apart was the fact that you weren't limited to just the one look for your figure. I began counting to see how many times Hasbro has released Luke Skywalker in the Black Series line. I actually stopped counting once I got to 15. With Action Man, you could buy the one figure and then get as many of the inexpensive costume sets as you wished, and then suddenly that one figure could be any character you wished. Could you imagine Hasbro doing something like this with their Star Wars line? No, me neither. Let's be honest, so-called action figures these days are just articulated statues. There's no action to these figures, they're just figures. Kenner's $6 Million Man line is the epitome of action figures, with play features modern collectors could only dream of. From Steve Austin's bionic arm, bionic eye, and removable bionic elements, to Maskatron's many faces and interchangeable limbs, these figures provided hours of entertainment and really haven't been surpassed in the decades that followed. If those action features weren't enough, how about the fact that Steve Austin, and for that matter Oscar Goldman, both came sporting socks? Now that's attention to detail, and I know there are people watching this right now who are currently screaming at their TV, shouting at me that some Hot Toys come with socks. Let's just clarify one thing here. Hot Toys are toys in name only. Any comparison to vintage toys is completely irrelevant at this point. I could go on for hours here talking about how the Evel Knievel stunt cycle remains one of the greatest toys ever made, or how Corgi and Matchbox cars are superior to anything on the shelves these days, but I'm sure you get my point here. So there you have it. If you still believe that vintage toys suck, I don't know what to tell you, man. Get a life